All right, Hoosier fans, we are back with the second edition of our summer series. Griffin, Gonzalez, and myself, Greg Murray, we are checking in with different Hoosier athletes from the different varsity sports. We're seeing what they're up to here over the summer. This is a very unique time with the COVID pandemic. Many athletes went home early and are at home, and so we're picking their brains to see what's going on with some of our favorite IU athletes. Griffin, how we doing? We have a solid interview here lined up in week 2.
Yeah, Greg, super solid interview today out of IU baseball today, changing it up. Spring sport athlete, our first spring sport athlete, that is. And it's catcher Collin Hopkins, the redshirt senior. Let's bring him in. Collin, man, I hope you're doing well. I heard you're in Tennessee. A little jealous. I'm a big Nashville guy. How's that home life in quarantine been treating you?
It's pretty great because Nashville, usually people think about it like, oh, the city is great and everything, but with COVID, it's been shut down. So it's giving everybody a chance to kind of get out and social distance, but in nature, So I think it's a really positive thing.
What have you been doing, just on a day-to-day basis, as general as a question as that may be? But what are you doing to stay busy?
Well, I'm taking a math class, so that's not really to stay busy. It's trying to graduate because I really don't like math. But regardless, I'm taking a math class in Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. So I'll wake up before that. And then I'll get some breakfast, work out, and then train for the rest of the day, and then eat dinner, go to sleep, and do it again. So it's pretty lax. I'm enjoying it, but would like to get back out there, obviously. So.
And Collin, I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but obviously you're a spring sport athlete. You were on the front lines of this COVID-19 situation. Just, not to be too visual and not to bring up the bad past, but what was that day like when you did find out that the season was not going to be happening?
It was just completely shocking because as a senior, I would never have imagined my last year, thank God it's not, but my last year at the time, going out like that. We are all just kind of sitting there. It was just a really brotherly moment of guys just coming together and understanding that it could have been the last time for, and it was the last time for a couple seniors playing baseball, So I feel like it was a sad moment, but we came together well over it.
Collin, this season was just 15 games. You played in all 15 as your first and to this point your only season here at IU. What do you make of what your team was able to do? There was a lot of question marks, I feel like, coming into the year with so many new faces, yourself included, down at LSU and then to East Carolina. The schedule was pretty brutal there in the non-conference, but you guys had some really high highs and I think a lot of potential. What do you make of the 15 games and the potential for your team this year?
I think overall we were still reaching our potential. We were still going up at a fast rate. And I think that, given a whole season, that's where it gets, if we had a whole season with that team, we could have done something special, I think. But regardless, I think we have some great guys coming back as well. Some new guys coming in, obviously some freshmen. I'm just ready to carry on the tradition that we built last year and the winning culture that was already instilled there, so I'm really, really looking forward to carrying that on.
How much did you carry that, what you just described, with you even coming in this year when you decided to come to Indiana and play as even then a transfer, but an older guy that's played a lot of college baseball in his career, when you're replacing a Ryan Feynman that was a 4-year starter behind the plate? The pitching staff is very, very different, a lot of different pieces. What was your mentality? What were guys like Jordan Fusey, some other guys that were playing and contributing in their first year? What was your mindset coming in trying to replace a Big Ten championship team that was the year ago?
Well, it was a little daunting at first. I was obviously just ecstatic to get the chance to play here. Immediately, I was just like, absolutely, I'm coming to Indiana. So, it was just a no-brainer. But coming in after all of the achievements that they've gotten, like the Big Ten championship coming fresh off that season, it was a little bit intimidating. But I think that the system that they have in place really allows you to take advantage of it and succeed. It lays out clear paths for you to be your best. So I think that given like our coaching staff, are really imperative in this situation because I think that they are phenomenal. So I think they did a great job in preparing us and allowing us to go in and be our best players.
You mentioned that coaching staff, and obviously Jeff Mercer already off to a fire start during his tenure at Indiana University. Give me that look inside the locker room. What's it like playing for Coach Mercer on a day-to-day basis?
It's awesome. He's even keel, until somebody doesn't do their job right, and then it's like a little stern, but he's cool and he's very sociable, he's just a phenomenal guy, phenomenal coach. So I just absolutely love playing for him.
Do you have like a go-to, I know all coaches have their mantras, their quote. What's your go-to? If I say Coach Mercer's quote, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Oh, he's going to be mad at me. He says secondarily a lot. Yeah, secondarily. And I don't think it's a word. So yeah, that's the one thing like in my head that sticks out. I don't know if anybody else agrees with me, but I think about that sometimes.
We'll put the poll out there. We'll call it a Mercerism.
A Mercerism.
Word.
I mean, he gets the point across very well, obviously. So it's not like you're ever like, oh, secondarily. It's just like I'm an English major, so it's like I'm kind of thinking on that vein. I'm just like maybe that wasn't a word.
Did you ever correct him and say, Coach, I don't think that's a word?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, because I'm saying he gets the point across very well. It's almost like secondarily should be a word. It's crazy.
Collin, I want to talk to you a little bit about you and growing up in your family, a fun background in the world of sports and kind of leading in from the COVID pandemic. I know you wish you were out on the field playing. This is Big Ten tournament weekend in Omaha, where we're at right now in May. But you had a pretty cool experience at home, it seems, with a brother of yours that's getting a chance to play at the professional level. I'll let you kind of take the reins on this and describe for everybody what that moment was like and just this whole situation.
I'm so proud of him. He's just worked his butt off for this. He took full advantage of his time playing at Purdue. So I'm just so proud of him and being able to be a part of that moment. Just the kind of like a crowning moment of all of his hard work. Right when he got that call, it was just like, oh, golly, it was emotional. Everyone was excited. Everyone was just like, oh my gosh, because we had no idea what team he was going to, obviously. So it was like, where's he going? Where's he going? And then it was the LA Rams, and we're all just like, he couldn't have picked a better spot,
Fourth round draft pick to the Los Angeles Rams, Bryson. That's a really cool moment. So your family in the room, I have to imagine I hope that when you look back at as odd a season and odd a time as this is, that's going to stand out as a really, really high point through this whole situation. Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's just, it was something special.
What's the IU Purdue banter been like?
Oh, it's so fun. It's so fun because especially last year when he was still playing, obviously his last season, I could just really talk a lot of crap to him because he obviously did not like IU. And me coming into IU, I was like, oh, I'm just kind of new to this rivalry, but Purdue sucks, So it's always really fun around here. He's a little bit more intense than I am about it, but it's still pretty fun.
Is there any banter over this year's bucket game? That one was certainly one for the ages. Any family bets going on there, or just love all the way?
You see, I don't even really know what that thing is about because obviously I'm new to this whole rivalry thing, so I wasn't placing any bets, and I was just kind of go with it,
Well, Collin, we want to get to know you a little bit more off the field as well. So we're going to talk some not random questions per se, but we may touch on some different pieces growing up. So I'll kind of toss out the first one here. From a baseball perspective, growing up, you're in Nashville at the moment, but just as you grew up following baseball, or it can be any sport, what were the go-to professional sports teams that you either did follow growing up or even the ones that you do follow now?
Well, obviously the Oilers /Titans, because my father played for them. He was phenomenal athlete. So majority of my life, like my childhood, he played for the Titans. So that was kind of that was definitely our go-to team. In football. Basketball, I kind of just stopped watching. I don't know why, but my team used to be the Knicks.
I'm sorry.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it's like a while ago. I don't follow anything now because it just frustrates me. So it's just like, I'm good. Baseball, I've always been a Cardinals fan.
Collin, let me ask you this. You clearly have your share of sports fandoms, and you've had the opportunity to see a lot of stadiums. Which one's your all-time favorite stadium?
In which sport? Like in all of it?
Yeah, any.
Oh, okay. It's got to be Fenway because I have cousins in Boston, and sometimes we'll get tickets to the game in like various spots. So I've been there a couple of times, and every single time it's just a phenomenal atmosphere. You can tell it's just a deeply rooted place in the history of baseball. So it's just so fun being there all the time.
Fenway's got that take your breath away moment when you see the monster for the first time. You as a baseball guy certainly understand that.
Yeah. And honestly, every time it's just like, that's awesome.
How about baseball player? Do you model your game? You mentioned the Cardinals, Yadi Molina, maybe. I mean, what is that's your guy growing up or even now?
Yeah. Absolutely growing up, because I would just go on YouTube, and watch like defensive highlights of Yadi Molina, and not really try to mimic what he does, but also just like understand how his body moves. And it's crazy having gone from doing that as like a freshman in high school to still doing that now. Am I still here?
Still got you.
Oh. Is Greg there?
I see him.
Yeah. Oh, you good? Okay, sorry. You paused on my screen. I was like, oh no, I thought it froze.
Yeah.
But sorry, what was I talking about?
Yadi Molina.
Oh yeah. Okay, sorry. So yeah, kind of climbing the ranks in college baseball, going from a JUCO and then to WKU and now to here. Continuing to watch him and understand the way his body moves and the way that he plays is just it is still phenomenal to me. So I think that he's just really fun to watch. I kind of view myself as more of a, not really, kind of like a Russell Wilson, So, but yeah, Yadi is something special.
Moving on here, you've had a lot of them certainly. What's your favorite sports memory you've ever had? Could be a moment, could be a game, could be anything.
It was conference tournament my freshman year. In junior college, and I think we were like the 4th seed going in. Walters State was not allowed to participate in postseason play because they did, I don't know what they did, but they were not allowed to. So the top seed was Dyersburg, and we had won our first game against Columbia State, and then we were playing Dyersburg. So if we beat Dyersburg, we go to championship and probably have to play Dyersburg again, but are still in the championship. So we're playing them. This is our second game of the conference tournament, and our starting pitcher, Jacob Cole, he goes to Tennessee Tech now. He had just a phenomenal game. And it was just that pitcher-catcher connection to where he knew exactly where I wanted the pitch to be and what kind of pitch. If I called a back-to-back curveball, he knew the second one needed to be better than the first one. He knew everything. He was just a fundamental, phenomenal pitcher. And for 8 innings, he just battled his butt off. And we led 4-2 the entire game because of that. And then he came out, and then we just kind of did not go for a while. But that's still one of my favorite memories because Dyersburg, they did win, but that was just the most fun game of baseball I think I've ever played.
You talk about that pitcher-catcher connection. How important is that to develop, and how do you as the catcher in that relationship go about developing that when you come to a new program like Indiana?
Okay, well, it really starts with just being personable. Just on a very fundamental level, being able to approach somebody and be like, okay, this is the way I play, this is the way you play. I think that we can accommodate each other, So it's like, I want you to be comfortable as a pitcher throwing whatever you want. And if you throw a ball in the dirt and I'm like, ow, like, oh, that hurts so bad, then they're like, they don't really have confidence in messing up. But if they throw a ball in the dirt and I block it and toss it back, and I'm like, try again, then they're like, okay, like I can do it, So then that instills confidence in them. And really just being able to go out to the mound and talk to them, not on just like a player-to-player level, but as a person, see what's going on, see how they're feeling, and then just kind of go from there.
How difficult is that to create a new relationship like that versus over time, you're 2 years in, you're 3 years in at a program? How difficult is it to quickly get on the same page like that?
Well, I went to JUCO, and that's a really short-lived season or a short-lived time, max, because you can only stay there for 2, maybe 3 years. Then you move on or you don't. So it's kind of overturning a lot of players, So some people will be gone their freshman year, some people will be gone their sophomore year, and then some people just quit. So it's just like always new people in and out, and then you really understand who actually cares about the game. And then you just take time investing in those players, So then going to a Division I after that, you have a lot more guys who are serious about it and really want to get better. So it just works out from there, So it's really just being personable.
I want to switch gears a little bit here. You didn't get to play too many home games at Bart Kaufman Field, but I want to go the route of walk-up songs because I think it's one of my favorite aspects that's just so unique to baseball, where players can express really whatever they want to in that 10-second clip that they have when they're walking up to the plate. What is your walk-up song or walk-up songs? And then a different question, what makes a good walk-up song?
Okay. Well, you can go a couple of different angles when you go for walk-up songs. It depends on the speakers in the stadium, because you play something with a lot of bass, and the bass doesn't sound good in the stadium. It sounds awful. It just sounds like it's awful. It doesn't sound good at all. So you really got to take that into account. But Bart Kaufman obviously has phenomenal speakers, so that's really not an issue. So you can go for something that's more hype. Like my Snoop Dogg walk-up song is so hype. I love it. It's so much fun. But I was going for more hype right there rather than Bigger Than Me by Big Sean. That's more of a serious song to me. And it kind of embodies personal growth. So I think that's a very personal song. And then the other one is more so just like, all right, let's go, So I think you can go like a bunch of different angles with it. I've got some ideas for next year. So,
do you ever use I know some players like to pick from back in the day, they used to pick the weirdest song they could to try to maybe throw off the pitcher a little bit. Do you think that's a good strategy or no? Not.
I've never met somebody who intentionally did that, because I know a lot of guys who are serious about the game are really trying to get in the zone before they go up to bat. But I remember in high school, our guy who was operating the whole sound system thought it would be hilarious to just mess everybody's walk-up songs up. So he was playing I'm a Barbie Girl, Baby Shark, or I don't know, Baby Shark was out then, but that type of music where everybody's walk-up and everyone was just so upset. It was so emotional. Everyone was so upset.
I imagine it can be upsetting unless you win that game, or maybe you go 3 for 3 or 4 for 4 with that kind of walk-up music. Then maybe you want to keep it for a little bit. Are you superstitious in that sense of once something works, you're going to keep going until maybe it doesn't work?
I try to be less superstitious, but I think I used to be really superstitious about. I only used to wear one batting glove on my left hand. I use one when I catch, but when I go hit, I change one. And I used to only wear one, and then I used to wear one on my right hand as opposed to just wearing two. I don't know why. It was just some superstitious thing that happened in the past, so it was just not really that superstitious, but I still am.
Well, you talk about superstitions. I know one of Greg's favorite things to ask, and we asked Grace Berger last week. We want to ask you the same thing. Do you have any pregame routine, something you eat, favorite meal, whatever it is, that you have to have before your game, or else you just feel like it throws off everything?
Well, I usually get a bang. I usually get a pina colada bang. And I sometimes I don't drink the whole thing, and it just tastes really good, So that'll kind of get me in the mindset for it. But I really just pride myself on pregame work. So it doesn't really matter what happened before I got to the field, how I feel, how much sleep I got. Hopefully I would have gotten enough sleep, ideally. But sometimes, like, I'll have a test and I'll be stressing out or something like that. But everything just kind of goes out the window when I come to the field. It's more of an escape, So then I just really focus on pregame work and understanding what I need to do in the game, and then go from there. So
baseball's a sport that oftentimes includes long bus rides, whether it's a midweek where you're just going down. We went to Evansville towards the end of the season. You guys went down to Alabama a couple weekends into the season. What's the go-to bus activity to keep yourself busy during those long rides?
Well, every team I've been on likes to play Mafia. And that's just – are you guys familiar with the game?
Yeah.
I am, purely because I've sat towards the front of the bus for a half decade, and so I've learned the game over the years. Not enough to play maybe, but I am familiar with it. Give the listeners – give us like a 30-second intro for anybody that's not familiar. What is Mafia?
This might be bad because I just learned how to play it this year, but I will still try. So you have just this narrator who decides who each person is on the bus. So you can have different characters in the game. You'll have a towns person, so like just a civilian. You can have a medic. You can have like sometimes you play like with a godfather, but usually have some Mafia members who just go around the town, so the participating players who are not some special character, just killing people or recruiting them. So it's kind of like a violent game, but obviously it's not graphic. So you have to discuss amongst yourselves who you think is in the Mafia and who you think is a townsperson, who you think is lying, so you just kind of – it's a very communicative game. So it's like, I think it's really fun to just listen to sometimes because you have people trying to convince them that they're not a dirty cop or something like that, so it's just like really going back and forth. It's really enjoyable.
I think we need like an IU Athletics Zoom Mafia game. One member from every team. I think that'd be interesting. Collin, you willing to step up for the baseball team there? And
I got you, but you would really want Tommy Summer. That dude is it is scary how good he is.
Really?
He'll just lie to your face. He'll just lie straight to your face.
Tommy's just a great liar. That's what.
Yeah, but only in the game. Like, he's a really honest guy. He's a great guy, but just like in the game, he's just like focused. He's trying to win.
Those left-handed pitchers, you just never know.
Oh, right? Don't even get me started on Braden Scott.
Let's go this route here, Collin. Talking about games and things like that. You're a board game guy? Are you a game guy outside of baseball or outside of Mafia?
You mean like video games or
talking video games, board games, whatever, card games, whatever you got?
I will play Super Smash Bros. Compulsively. It's a GameCube game. A really old system, and I will just play that. It's right here. I have. Awesome.
You've been playing throughout this entire interview.
Exactly. I've just been down here. You just didn't see me. But yeah. So that is just really my main game. I'll play Fortnite, but I'm really bad, so it's not really fun to play. So I just like my Super Smash Bros.
Now, let me ask you this, because I know there's a lot of debate here. Will you play Smash Bros. On Wii or a different system, or does it have to be GameCube? I
have GameCube and I have a Wii U. Okay. So I've actually got both. And I use the same controller for them because I have like an adapter. It's really kind of nerdy, but I have an adapter that allows me to play with a GameCube controller on the Wii. So that's what I do a lot. And then sometimes I'll play the GameCube version too. So yeah, that's actually how I pass my time. It's just back and forth between the two.
Again, I age myself. I did this. I forget what we're even talking about with Grace last week, but I age myself compared to you two. I have the N64 version of Super Smash Brothers.
I wish I had it. I just never had it. Now, see, yeah, you were the OG.
That 64 is the best one in my opinion. That's the fun one. Like that, you get the graphics. It's fantastic.
It's like a bunch of cubes punching each other. What do you mean?
Oh, Collin,
I'm just kidding.
It's so man. Come on now.
It's nostalgic. I got you. Like, I wish I played more N64, but I never had one. We had a Sega Genesis.
There we go.
We had one of those. That thing was cool. Played Soul Calibur. Yeah, that was cool. I got you. I've been there. Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Absolutely. So
yeah.
now I had it growing up, lost it, it broke, whatever it was, and then I think very soon after I graduated college, so 6-7 years ago, went out and bought another one. So just a refresh. Got Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, and called it a day.
Perfect.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
Collin, as we wrap up this interview here, give us, it can be one, it can be two things. Tell the viewers something that they don't know about Collin Hopkins.
Well, upon graduating high school, I was planning on going to the University of Tennessee and studying acting. And because I had done it in high school and I really enjoyed it. I was good at it. It was just something really fun to me. So I was gonna go that route, and then my mom was like, "You can act when you're older, but you can outgrow baseball. Like, you get older, you get less capable. So she was just like, you should probably play baseball for now." And I was like, it's a very wise decision. So I went to Ball State, and now I'm here. So thanks, Mom.
Do you still have the bug to do?
Oh, yeah.
At some point down the road here?
Well, hold on. This is like a little pendant I got, and it's a comedy mask and a tragedy mask. Oh, can you see it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a double-sided thing. It's
What
pretty cool.
plays were you in high school? What parts did you play?
Oh my gosh, I was I did Almost Maine, which is a play about like love stories. I did that senior year, and me and my best friend Javi Torres were supposed to play two like masculine guys who fell in love with each other. It was absolutely hilarious. It was supposed to be like a funny scene. And I remember our acting teacher approaching us before the play, and he was like, so, because we had auditions, and he wanted to put us both in the play, and he was like, so I have two parts for you guys. Let me know if you're cool with this. And we were just like, kind of like looked at each other, and we were just like, whatever. And we read the script, and it was just absolutely hilarious. So we were like, yeah, absolutely, this is really funny. So we did that. It was a hit. It was so fun. And everybody everybody thought it was going to be like some uncomfortable thing, and it was really enjoyable. So.
Any musicals? Any singing talent?
Ooh. I wish, but no.
But
because
no.
I had baseball during the spring, so that's when the musicals were.
Now, if you could be in a musical, which one would you pick?
Oh my gosh, there was one called Aida. That was amazing.
I'm not sure if I heard of that one.
It's kind of like this. I'm about to just botch this, but Egyptian-esque love story. So it's like pretty cool stuff. I really cannot give you more than that. I loved it. I remember that.
That's more than I knew going into the interview. That's
there you
more
go.
than I knew. Aida, Egyptian love story.
There you go. The more you know.
Collin Hopkins' his favorite musical.
Yes.
Very good. Well, Collin, we can't thank you enough for taking some time to chat with us here. It's summertime. I know you try to stay busy as you can with math, and then, of course, staying in shape and getting ready to come back and play some baseball. Before you know it, it's going to be a long time, I think. But hopefully it goes pretty quick, and you stay busy down there in Tennessee before we can get you back up to Bloomington.
Yes, sir.
Collin, can't thank you enough. Hoosier fans, tune in next week where the summer series heads to Wilkinson Hall. We'll be talking IU volleyball next week. For Griffin, Gonzalez, and Collin Hopkins, I'm Greg Murray. Go Hoosiers.